wondering why why is it in Latin and not in some African language?
Well,
why Latin?
Because that's a very good observation, because it is African symbolism, but Latin language, because how would you say, the new order was going to be made up of a white society, a white elitist society. And it would be based on the old mysticism and religion and philosophy of Africa, but it would be a new Africa or a new Egypt.
So you're saying that new societies go all the way back into the Great Pyramid?
Oh, yes, go all the way back, right. As a matter of fact, if you remember, the pyramids are made out of bricks. And those who work in the ancient world with bricks were called stone masons. And that's, of course, where we get today, the Masonic societies, or the Masons who work with bricks, so that almost all Freemasons realize that their fraternity of Freemasonry goes all the way back into the ancient world, into the first dynasties of Egypt, and all of their symbolism comes from Egypt. But what's important is to understand that today, in order to understand when the president says the New World Order, and you hear this term quite often now, let me explain to you what's being said when you hear the words New World Order. America is referred to as the New World. Christopher Columbus discovers the New World. Well, the Old World is Europe. And for almost 2,000 years, Europe has controlled the world. Europe has dominated the world. And Rome has dominated Europe. So for almost 2,000 years, Rome, or the Roman Church, the Roman authority of Europe, through their ancient houses, their fraternal houses, have controlled Europe, and Europe has dominated the world.
Now, did the Crusades have anything to do with it?
Absolutely. That's exactly right. That's why Steven Spielberg and the George Lucas movies with Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Of course, you can't understand the Last Crusade if you don't understand the first one. And it has to do with the Lost Ark, and that's why Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Ark of Covenant. And now, incidentally, in that Raiders of the Lost Ark, where were they looking for the Lost Ark? In Jerusalem? In Palestine? In the Holy City? No, in Egypt. They were looking for the Lost Ark in Egypt because that's exactly where the Ark originally was, in Egypt. It was an African symbol. It was purely an African symbol, the Ark, and later on it was brought into modern use. And the Bible is referred to as the Ark of the Covenant, but actually it comes from Egypt. It's a much older symbol. But anyway, if you think about the power base in Europe being the old world, Europe being the old world, and those powers that are behind the throne of Europe dominating the world, that was an order, like the Masonic order or an order of priesthood, the orders of, the fraternal orders.
Now, as I reflect on history, several United States presidents belong to the Masonic.
Quite a few. As a matter of fact, the founders of the United States, the founders of the country, the signers of the Constitution, were all Freemasons, except for the few that were Rosicrucians, and there were a few others that were of other fraternal orders. In that respect, it's interesting to do a little research in your history books on an order called the Ordi di Sion, the Holy House of Sion, S-I-O-N, not Z-I-O-N, Ordi di Sion. It's a very powerful secret society that's even in existence in the south of France today. And that's why, of course, south of France has always been a very mystical place for occult societies. The Cathars, of course, and the Albigensian Crusades. But let me get back to this point about Rome dominating Europe and Europe dominating the world. Rome, the Roman Church today, was the power of Europe, and that was the old world order, the order of the old world. But with the coming of America, we have a new world order. And therefore, it is the power, elite power base, which is America, the new order.
Are you saying that power was